All right, everybody. My computer just shut down twice, so I have no idea what the fuck's going on right now. But I don't know what is wrong with my laptop. So we'll see how long this stays up. But the rest of the guys are calling it a night. I think what I might do is we'll see how long this stays up, and if it stays up for more than like maybe 5 minutes, I'll send out a link, and maybe I'll just talk to whoever's in the chat. So hold on, let me pull everything up to make sure it's okay. But yeah, this has been a very frustrating night, to say the least, as you can tell. So yeah, I just opened up the chat. So hey, is anybody there? And I will troubleshoot, I guess, to see what happened to my laptop twice in a row. Tomorrow, if it doesn't just shut down like right now. So if anybody's in the chat, I'll put a link in the chat with a way to talk to me. Video chat. There you go. So this kind of be an open format. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I will talk about as long as my computer stays up. And if it's a long enough thing, then you know, I guess it'll be a podcast. A new podcast where you can just ask me whatever you want. So I guess in the meantime, my foot is healing sort of slowly. I can put a little pressure on it, but it's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure it's tendon damage. I have an MRI tomorrow for my foot to see exactly what's going on, but I know now that the swelling went down, and now when I put some weight on my foot, I can literally feel like the bones of my feet kind of shift around because something's wrong. So we'll see what's up with that tomorrow, and I'll talk to my orthopedic doctor hopefully the next 2 days, and I'll see how bad my foot is. If I need surgery, then I'll get it done as soon as possible. That way I can get back to like normal life as soon as possible. If it's not, then I guess we'll just let it heal on its own, which is not great because, you know, I'm not that young anymore. So we'll see. Just typing in the live chat right now. Yeah, Warrior Fellow, if you want to join me and talk to me, let me know. Like, seriously, I put the link in there, and you can join, and we can talk live on the podcast, and you'll be actually on the podcast for the first time ever. You can do audio only or video only. It's up to you. Other than that, what else has been going on? My daughter's been going to jiu-jitsu, which has been nice. I actually got to take her yesterday for the first time in a long time because like I didn't want to drive with her in the car because my foot is all messed up. My right foot, which is the one you mainly drive with if you have an automatic. Actually, it's what you mainly drive with anyway because you have to start and stop with that same foot. And if you go with one foot and stop with the other, then you're a maniac, and please stop driving cars because you should use one foot for I think old people and people that don't know how to drive cars will use 2 feet. I've been playing a lot of God of War Ragnarok, probably more than I should, and I don't know how long the game is, but I played it for quite a long time, and it's amazing. I have to say, it's really amazing. I've been very happy with the game so far. And I don't want to... Can I spoil it? I guess it's been more than a week, right? You get to play as... There's gameplay... I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you. How do I put it? There's a part in the game where you get to change up the gameplay, and it's super cool. And you get new companions, which is also super cool. And there's a whole bunch of different differences in the game. People that complained about the game, being in the same places. It's like not really. It's like complaining that, every I don't know, like every Devil May Cry game is based on Earth. It's like, yeah, technically you're correct, but also, I mean, there's a lot of places on Earth. So, and even in, the latest in Ragnarok, where you revisit some areas, they're similar, but they're not the same. But they look sort of similar because you were there and you get to see the after effects of Fimbulwinter starting, and that's that's pretty cool to see like the differences in the terrain, and you get to go to different realms, and there's new enemy types. There's new types of weaponry. It's like, and the acting is spot on. If you like the first game, you're definitely going to enjoy Ragnarok. So yeah, it's for me they improved upon the first game, the one that came out in 2018. I want to say the first God of War, because the first God of War was like a super long time ago, which I enjoyed as well. But these recent the reboot of it, not reboot, but the latest sequels have been masterpieces, by far masterpieces. And I think it's even more of a masterpiece if you happen to have kids and struggling to deal with like kids and like their attitudes, and you know just like being a parent. It's hard to be a parent, and especially I think it's probably harder when you can just like literally just like kill your kid with like one hand. Well, I guess I pretty much that's kind of morbid, but yeah, I mean Kratos is the god of war. Now he's like a dad again. I think people probably forget in the game, if you didn't play the old ones, that oh, here we go. What's going on? I think we got Warrior Fellow. What's going on, man? That's kind of morbid. Oh, you gotta mute whatever I'm saying on your end. Again, I think people probably forget. Can you hear me? If you didn't play the old ones, that oh no, just getting the loop. This is like the I think we got Warrior Fellow. What's going on, man? And that's gonna catch up.
Hey, yeah,
you gotta mute whatever I'm saying.
oh, hold on.
Yeah, there we go. You gotta catch it. It's like the radio.
All right, I got this. Get this graphic off the screen. Okay.
No,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I don't hear me, so that's great.
Oh man. Hey, guess I'm now on your podcast. I'm really here on your podcast.
Officially, yes.
Oh man, great. All right.
And luckily, I didn't have the screen up where it shows like me and you, because it has your government name on there. So I'm pretty sure we met before, right?
Yeah,
A
we
few
have
times.
quite a few times. First time was San Francisco Comic Con
Yes.
2015.
And you were
I
Finn, right?
Yeah, I was dressed as a Star Wars fan. I don't see Star Wars fan because there's apparently there's another fan from some other universe. I think it's Adventure Time.
Yeah. I like Adventure Time, but I started watching it with my youngest, and I can't, like, there gets to a point in Adventure Time where you can't watch with kids anymore, with young kids, because it gets like super violent.
Oh, really? I only know because I looked at the promos and I thought it was lighthearted, but but it sounds like
Yeah,
it really is the kind of hardcore.
it gets deeper later on. It deals with like loss, and like I think Finn loses like a limb, or I think multiple limbs. Like he gets like they go through like a war, and it's like it's pretty crazy. If my daughter was on here, my oldest daughter, she would tell us all about it because she's watched them all. So how's your night going?
uh, okay, just okay. So just came from a day job, and about to graduate from school, get a degree, and where I can find a job in audio producing.
Oh, so you can give me some tips, huh?
Yeah, to, yeah. Maybe a couple, but I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert. I'm still.
Well, if you get a
still
degree, you'll be more of an expert than me, because I made it up as I went along, and I'm pretty sure you've been listening for a long time. You've seen how the audio quality has improved over the years. I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, come up with new stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that it's made of some mediocre materials in a sweatshop.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Like, and I'm definitely not at the point where I can drop like thousands of. Actually, over years I've dropped thousands, but I'm not going to drop thousands on one piece of equipment right now. So yeah.
And I mean, if I won that, if it was me who scored $1 billion overnight, we could give your show some assistance.
Yeah, that would be nice. I was thinking about when they had the $2 billion lottery. I was like, if I won, like, what would I do with it? It's like, I would definitely still podcast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would. When I quit my day job because I need health insurance, and these days, got to pay more in taxes for every month you're not insured.
I think if you had like $2 billion though, you could afford paying for insurance on your own because they have private insurance if you're rich enough. Same thing with like technically you don't have to have your own like automobile insurance. You can just put like I think it's like 30 grand. You can put in like a certain account and that counts as like your insurance. But most people just insure anyway.
No, I did not know that. Huh?
Yeah, it's one of those weird things that I retained from driving school and also knowing how to drive.
From driving school, they never brought when I attended driver's ed, they never brought anything like that up.
Yeah. I
Oh,
went through
oh,
like
oh,
I went through different driving schools. So I went to one in America, then I had to go to one in when I lived in Qatar, which is weird because I had to like in driving school over there. Or actually, it wasn't a school, but like doing a driver's test over there. Yeah, all the tests were in manual cars. You couldn't do it in an automatic, which was cool because I already know how to drive in a manual car. So
yeah, the manual manual versus automatic. I can handle manual, but it is a chore, and then every time I feel like I don't put my foot correctly on the clutch, and it makes that sound. I kind of wonder, oh crap, did I just cause some damage to the car?
yeah, a little bit you did. It's like an instant reminder that maybe you don't know how to drive. I did it plenty of times. I burned out a clutch when I was young. It's all good.
If you have to drive an area that has hills or do not get in a manual.
Well, yeah, there's a trick to it. You have to use it's the e-brake trick. So what you do is you hold your e-brake up, and then you kind of feather the clutch, and then you have to like press on the gas, let off the clutch, and let off the brake at the same time. So it's like a coordinated effort to like not go backwards.
Oh, interesting. Well, where'd you learn that?
Where did I learn that? I don't know if it was just I figured it out on my own or somebody taught me. I'm pretty sure I just figured it out on my own because I used to drive a lot. Like both me and Blue, we used to both like we both used to drive manual cars. And we drove a lot, and we used to like street race too. So yeah. So after you graduate college, like what kind of job you trying to get?
uh, went to in sound producing and not in music because during the courses I would focus more on music and they're okay then, but wasn't as passionate like like my classmates because they were neck deep in the music thing. They were musicians, already produced songs. Uh, I mean, I just want to do sound production for what you hear in video games,
Ah,
TV shows, and movies. And
okay. Are you
yeah,
trying to
that's
are you trying to focus on a specific type of sound that you're going for, like background? I guess you said not music, so I guess what kind of like sound are you going for?
well, let's say it was kind of required. I'm gonna have to do with the environment, like the
Ah,
hear the characters in an environment, uh, and some things if you hear it, whether it's coming explosion or something require voice effect or some other sound effect, that kind of things. And I've become more of a fan of Foley mixing, where I go here and there, recording sounds. That would be good for uh, the sequence in the scene, and plus plus a voiceover thing. Like,
that'd be cool. Yeah, because I'm thinking about like certain sound designs, and like recently, like I was just playing God of War Ragnarok, and like I keep an ear out for the sound of the ravens, and it's like unless you're really listening and paying attention, like the sound and everything else around you, if you don't listen for the ravens, like you'll miss them all. And I think it's like those little touches that in video games that kind of go a long way, and also in like Doom in the soundtrack, or not in Doom the game, the way that they ramp up the music and like they have certain cues and like when like you have to do stuff. And I think that most people don't even recognize those sorts of things, but those cues are definitely things that get you way more engaged in gaming. Like I didn't recognize it until like recently.
Yeah, I know. You mean quite a lot of cues I did not take time to notice until I started training myself and I. It's also like what you'll hear in live action of film where you think they where you some sounds you hear where you might think they did on set, but no, it's the sounds all post production. Got people in recording studios taking this some sturdy, soft objects, even food and water, and come up with the proper sound. It's,
Yeah, like Breaking Bones is like was it celery or something like that? I think I watched a
yeah,
couple videos on that. Yeah.
I did. That's one of the videos that I've watched that showed one of the recent Mortal Kombat games where we hear someone's bones break in, and that was someone using celery sticks.
Yeah. That's very innovative and like yeah, it's one of those things like I said nobody thinks about it, but somebody's got to make all those noises, you know. Even like punches, like somebody's got to hit like a bag or a piece of meat or something like that. Like that's not usually the way that a punch sounds unless you hit somebody really flush. So so are you still up in the bay?
uh, yeah, I've been in the Bay my whole life. Born in Hayward. Fremont is my hometown. Moved there from when I was two, and relocated back to Hayward when I was 17. So, and it turns out Hayward is got at least a few famous people there, like Mahershala Ali,
Yeah, The
First
Rock.
Smash, right? Yeah, Dan Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Well,
Yeah. And then I was there. But I
well,
just moved.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I grew up in Newark actually. So yeah, you were like I was the next city over from you. Well, we're in Enclave, so Fremont actually surrounds Newark. So yeah.
yeah.
So what high school did you go to in Fremont?
I went to a couple. My freshman year was at Irvington, and my sophomore year at Kennedy. I do not recommend either of the schools, especially Kennedy. Right, it was turned out to be one of the worst schools in the country.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and
Oh,
uh and for my uh, then the two following years when I went to Hayward High, and going to school there was liberating. I actually had a good number of teachers and people in the principal's office who actually did give a damn and wanted to help me and anyone who wanted to help themselves.
that's always good. Like having teachers that care. That really does go a long way. I remember when I was in first grade, and I failed first grade. And I had passing grades, and that's when like I stopped caring about school. And then I had a string of like really bad teachers that didn't really care. And then I had like one. Well, I had two, maybe three in high school that were decent teachers, and they kind of like had like made me care about graduating. But if it wasn't for that, then I probably wouldn't have graduated high school.
Yeah. And it did they? I was asking it because they at Hayward High they uh, put me well with a counselor. Just oh well, two guidance counselors. The people to have conversation with every week to figure out what's bothering me, what's causing me emotional distress, and figure out how to deal with it before I do something I regret because I was not a bully in school, but man, I got into fairly, maybe a fair share, maybe more of fights
Fights.
with bullies.
Yeah, it's like it's either we all know how it is, you know. It's either you're the bully or you're a person getting bullied, or you know you gotta figure out a way to fight back. So yeah, it's it sucks that you know people some people are kind of keep that same mindset even after high school, and you see them as like people that were bullies are like now managers and shit like that. And it's like how do these people like still keep some sort of power in life when they're just like kind of I don't want to say they're worthless people, but the people that are definitely not meeting their human potential. You know, they're just bullying people throughout their whole lives, and it's fucking sad to see. But luckily, most of them don't make it to like be high up, unless you're like you know Donald Trump or somebody like that. But
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So have you gone to any cons since the pandemic at all? Because I haven't gone to any.
Not gone to any. I've been any. I paying close attention to the numbers, the infections, deaths, and vaccines administered, and I haven't seen any results that say I would feel good about going to a convention or any gathering. And earlier this year, what's the time? Back in October, first time I went to Cineplex, yeah, in 2 years, and went out to see Tommy Gun Maverick.
That was a great movie.
Oh wow, yeah, that's Tom Cruise. I mean, every not just Tom Cruise, but everybody in front and behind the camera, and the people who wrote it, they brought their A game with that long overdue sequel. It's one of very few long way sequels that broke that curse.
Yeah, there's very few, right? It's like thinking of like it's like Terminator was definitely better than the sequel was better than the original. Maverick
um,
was definitely better than the original.
on in The Incredibles 2.
Yeah, that was really good too. Yeah, that was better. I'm thinking about trying to think about more. Hmm.
What about that? Jumanji Up to the Jungle is
Actually, you know what? I'll allow it because watching Jack Black play as a woman was hilarious.
oh man, I want. Yeah, I've seen Jack Black in it, and I say, oh, okay, he's right. He's not just being genuinely funny, but he, uh, I mean, I saw he was genuinely fun for the first time. He's genuinely fun when he's not doing the voiceover of a kung fu panda.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He definitely really impressed me with his acting in that movie, and now he's playing Bowser and you know the Mario Brothers, which I'm on the fence because you know his version of Bowser seems amazing, but Chris Pratt just playing Chris Pratt as Mario, I'm just like that's kind of for me it's disappointing. I'm like it doesn't sound like Mario, it just sounds like Chris Pratt, you know?
Oh yeah, I kind of want if uh, it may have something to do with some little controversy because Super Mario and Luigi came with some controversy that they were based on Italian stereotypes.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of so they probably had Chris Pratt to use his own voice instead of a stupid Italian accent.
It's true, but but it's now it's hard for me to see like when I hear the voice, I just think of him and not like Mario. But you're right. I mean, definitely like it's one of the things that I said when I first heard, you know, him do the voice. I was like, you know, the original voice was kind of like it was stereotypical, you know, like
Yeah.
even beyond stereotypical. It's like it was ridiculous. But I think they just toned that down by like maybe 6 points, 7 points. You know, they'd have been okay. But then you just come up with just Chris Pratt. I don't know. I just think that maybe there'd be a different way. Maybe they can do a thing where they do like a change.org and do what they did with Sonic and get a different voice actor to just overdo the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah, and that's about right. And just yeah, get a different actor and let him or her bring their own thing to the character. Yeah.
Did you watch Wakanda Forever?
Uh, uh, Man, if gatherings were not too dangerous, I would have been. I would have been there on Thursday night watching it, but no, I'm still still waiting now to. I would like if I won that lottery, I would have rented a room and just have that
Yeah,
to myself and you know,
that's the
I
ideal
mean,
way to go. I I,
yeah,
I rolled the dice. You know, I got my fourth vaccine. I got my second booster, which is my fourth shot. Um, like about a month and a half ago. So I'm a little more, you know, even though I can still get it, but I haven't been sick at all. And my daughter gets tested weekly, and I test every now and again. But it's whatever your comfortable level is, you know. I can't discount that at all. Like if you're not comfortable getting out, then don't go out. But I will say, the Wakanda Forever for me was amazing.
all right. Then they do a good job of paying homage to Chadwick Boseman.
They did, yes. And if you're the teary eyed type, you're going to cry in the movie probably more than once. So
Thanks for the heads up because ever since Chadwick passed away, passed away too soon, I can't watch anything of him in it without feeling sad just because he was not just one of the better performing artists, but he was out there doing the best things, not the worst, and it's just not fair that he dies before so many people out there who want to do more harm than good.
yeah, so you definitely want to bring some tissues, that man. So, but beyond them, just obviously they paid a good homage to Chadwick Boseman, but also all the new stuff that happens in the movie is is really cool. Like the way that they did Namor, I thought was really nice. I know people are like mad about that they changed it from Atlantis to Talokan. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Um, I had no problem with it. I think one of the main reasons is because Aquaman is already out, and if you look at Aquaman and Namor, and the layperson is not gonna be able to tell you the difference between the two. Besides, one has wings on their feet. That's about it. So they definitely they made this. They kept the assholishness of Namor intact and gave him a whole new uh, backstory that kind of makes more sense in my mind anyway. I think that anybody that watches the movie, you can obviously be your own judge, but I like what they did to it, and I like that they are bringing in more brown people into the mix. You know,
Yeah, because um, I think before Wakanda Forever, the only brown person I saw that had a decent role was the one played by the character played by Michael Pena in the Ant-Man movies.
yeah, for the MCU, yeah. And if you go back beyond, I mean, well, you got Anthony Mackie, right? You got the Falcon; he's got his own show.
Oh,
So
oh, yeah.
it's sometimes it's easy to forget sometimes because it's kind of few and far between. And then people will say that Black Panther was the first black Marvel movie character, which is like incorrect. We
But
have
yeah,
Blade.
incorrect.
Yeah.
Got Blade back in the late 1990s.
Yes. And without Blade, you would not have the MCU. Even though Blade was not in the MCU, but he started. That was the first successful Marvel movie. Was Blade?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember being a little kid watching the very first Captain America movie, and even back then, I hated it. I mean, just as soon as I watched it, but I was disappointed. I felt better by going to Nickelodeon and watching one of their cartoons because and they're like Rugrats. Well, compared that to 1990 Captain America, the original Cap was way more of a cartoon than what you would see on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, yeah. So hold on. You talking about the original Captain America, like way back in the day?
Yeah, way back in the day.
Okay, I was gonna say because when
Wait,
you said Captain America, I was like, "Are you younger than me?" I was like, You didn't seem
oh,
that much
oh,
younger
oh,
than me
oh, wait,
then."
wait. I meant. Sorry. Sorry. I was a little inaccurate. I meant the movie from well, I think what was it, 1990?
Yeah, yeah, that was a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. Well, people think that like this when they had Captain America and Iron Man and the Hulk, like these were all like first time movies. Like most of these were not. These are like second or third attempts, at making a Marvel movie with iconic characters. Because remember in the past they had I, I think it was a Hulk movie, but I know for sure they had a Punisher movie, which actually wasn't that bad.
um,
But I think that was after Blade, though. No,
yeah,
sorry, Dolph Lundgren. That was before Blade. That was a terrible movie.
uh, yeah, yeah, I did some searching. I came across Dolph Lundgren's Punisher, the trailer, and I could tell that they did not try to make it one of the better movies, so I didn't bother watching it.
Yeah, you definitely you weren't missing much. I think we
Yeah.
should probably do like a watch party on Discord and just we should all watch like older Marvel movies and see like how bad they really were. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, we could do our own what was it, riff racks?
Yeah, riff tracks. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah, and just see like how bad because some of them people forget that like they existed and they were terrible. Even like Batman movies back in the day, like the original Batman show, like it wasn't that great.
No, it was campy with a capital C.
Yeah, but then you got Michael Keaton, and he just like I think that was a true start for like really good or at least decent, comic book based movies slash shows was Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah, yeah, there was, and I did hear about so much down about Keaton being casted as Batman because he was known for Beetlejuice and Mr. Mom and other good comedic roles with the. But he showed the world that how versatile he was by doing a Batman that uh, had more of a tone that was inspired by the Frank Miller comics of Batman.
Yeah, yeah, there were just fantastic movies, and like, and also it wasn't just Michael Keaton; it was also
That
the
Jack
director.
Nicholson is a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, Jack Nicholson as Joker, and also the director, Tim Burton. Like him making a movie like that, like a comic movie, was like unheard of at the time. Like having Tim Burton, the guy that did before that was like Beetlejuice and other kind of like sort of wacky. Even though Batman was kind of wacky too because of the Joker, um,
Yeah,
but it was still like pretty serious matter,
yeah, yeah. Batman was yeah. He had liked how he had Batman to bring the serious stuff and use his Joker to bring the wacky stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember going back and like watching it. It's like having Prince on the soundtrack was like dope, and they were wearing like purple and stuff. I was like, oh man, I need to go back and watch it like again because I haven't watched it in probably like a few years. But I definitely remember like some of the songs from the movie,
Yeah,
and yeah, it was like really cool. And like at the end when like he pulls out like his gigantic gun out of his pants, that shit was hilarious. Doesn't get old. Yeah,
oh man, yeah. I think I was about. Yeah, I remember watching 1989 Batman. That's when that's the first time I paid attention to Prince's music, and I grew up liking his style more than Michael Jackson's.
yeah. I think Prince is like one of the most underrated artists of all time. I actually recently listened to a podcast about safe cracking, and one of the guys. So apparently, like when Prince died, his he literally had a vault. So I thought when people talk about the vault, I think they're like bullshitting about it. Like, but he actually had like a legit like vault in his house. That was like a it was like a bank vault. And so when he died, they didn't know the combination to it, so they had to hire a safe cracker to get into his safe and to get access to like all of his music. And it literally was a vault full of his music.
Well, Prince did not trust anybody with the vault code.
Yeah, no, he really didn't, and somebody got in, and and apparently it was one of those vaults. It's almost like it was movie like, but the guy with the vault cracker that was talking about it is like if you got into the vault the wrong way, like this sheet of like metal would come down, and you would basically never get into this vault without destroying all the contents inside. But he figured out a way to get into it because he was like a professional. Like people hired him, like corporations would hire him to get into vaults for this same reason. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
And
are you still
oh, and
reading? Go ahead.
all right. So I don't mean to change the subject, but when we were talking about '89 Batman, and Burton used Batman being serious enough, but also like it was not just Batman character. He also did it with with Bruce Wayne when he meets same part where he's in Bell Vicky Vale's apartment. Meets Joker face to face as Bruce Wayne, and he goes like calm and collected, and just out of blue, he's yelling and shouting and challenging the Joker, and that when I look when I, every time I start seeing that I think myself, well, that's my childhood when I'm especially when I'm clashing with the school bullies.
Yeah, flipping the switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, like well, for him it was a big act because he could do it, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
if he had it to get it done, but he would like destroy his persona. But I think like for people that go through stuff like that, it's probably like the same deal. Well, actually, I went through it too, so it's like the same deal, like destroying part of yourself to like assert yourself. You know?
Yeah, just assert yourself, yeah, and that kind of, I think that got played in a little bit in the writing of Batman the Animated Series. So with you remember
Oh
the episode, yeah, the episodes, well, mostly the episodes where they show Harvey Dent's transition to Two Face, and when he's talking to reporters, and they have bad guys getting arrested behind him, and one of them makes a threat towards Harvey and kicks some mud on him, and you can see how the look on Harvey's face, just I can't believe he just kicked dirt on me, and then all of a sudden he just looked mad and intense, and this all this red glowing around him, and he grabs the hoodlum who kicked him out of him, and throws him on the ground and starts shouting at him, making threats at him, but in a different voice, a very scary and louder voice. Yeah,
yeah,
like
man.
that. So,
Speaking of like the animated series, we can't say the animated series without saying an R.I.P. Kevin Conroy.
yeah,
Man,
I've heard about that, and I was a little bit heartbroken. I say a little bit because I never got to meet Conroy, but man, his work uh, is a big deal under my childhood, and he is my favorite Batman actor. I mean, some will say their favorite Batman is the guy they saw on screen, but I have a broader look at it where it's on screen or voiceover. A Batman actor is a Batman actor, and Kevin Conroy him was best at it because he brought something different there, like more not just more emotion, but when you first hear him as Batman, it's not the traditional voice. It's a voice that says, "Wow, this guy is mentally scarred."
yeah, I think. I mean, when I think of Batman, I literally think of Kevin Conroy, like his iconic voice, and I think for Blue, that's like one of his that's definitely. I'm pretty sure I can speak for him. That's like his favorite version of Batman. He has a picture of Kevin Conroy, and he's holding the Batman the animated series. What do you call those things? Pop. I forget what they're called. Those little figurines. I forget what they're called
uh,
now.
uh,
What do they call those damn things?
Funko Pop.
Yeah, there you go. Funko Pops. Thank you. I've been drinking. But yeah, he's holding a Funko Pop of the animated series version of Batman with Kevin Conroy. And yeah, that's just it's super depressing to know that that he passed so soon, and the outpouring from the nerd community has been pretty substantial. But because I didn't even know he was sick, honestly. It's sort of similar to a Chadwick Boseman situation,
Yeah,
Chadwick
this.
Boseman was young, so
Yeah, he was about he was like barely 40.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was, I felt kind of the same way. How I felt about Chad Warren, same way I feel about Kevin Conroy. The watching him for years. Well, watching Chad Boseman for years. What been following Conroy for decades, and really like the work. And when I watched him on in interviews or at cons and how they conducted themselves and they did it like well-minded human beings and they're so fed up that they're not with us anymore and so we still have many out there who are out causing more harm than good and somehow they're not deceased.
yeah. It is sad, but did you listen to the Batman Unburied series on Spotify? I think it was.
Oh yeah, listened to it numerous times and I helped it I wanted to help that show top Joe Rogan, and,
Yeah, it did. Congratulations.
and it did, yeah. Well, Winston Duke from the from Black Panther and other Marvel movies that he I really liked his voice work mostly as Bruce Wayne. His Batman sounded a little bit like a robot voice, sort of similar to Ben Affleck's Batman. But and listen to that show I was so glad of what they did with the writing, the voiceovers, and all the sound effects,
Yeah.
and it seems like that's as close as we get to an R-rated Batman.
Yeah, it was like I've listened to a lot of really highly produced audio, you know, journeys. Like I think Sandman's up there, Dune's up there, and this is also up there as well. Like listening to I think when I listen to a lot of audiobooks like all the time. Right now I'm listening to, if anybody's curious, on audiobook I'm listening to The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson, which is a fantastic book. But I'm constantly listening to something on audio. If it's not a podcast, it's a book, and it's always nice to listen to like a books type thing where they have like sound effects and like different voice actors and like all these other things and like yeah, this Batman and Buried, like they had a star-studded cast. Like Lance Reddick as Thomas Wayne was fantastic. They had like so many really good um, cast members, and like whoever did their audio design was like great as well. It's going back to what you were talking about before, man, about sound isn't always just about like music and like other things, but it's like the little things. Like in I think the very beginning, the first episode, when there's like somebody was cutting into like a person, you could like hear like the cutting of the meat, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is kind of gross, but it's also like this is kind of amazing,
yeah,
like
it's some authenticity. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's like those little things that'll get you in there. But yeah, we talked about it many times on the podcast, but if you haven't listened to Batman and Buried, definitely do it. When they said Winston Duke was going to be Batman, I was just like, huh? Because I'm thinking of like M'Baku, right, from Black Panther, but he does such a great job as Batman.
Yeah, yeah, I think Winston Duke is underrated voiceover performer. I'm hearing him as Bruce Wayne and Batman, and um, as M'Baku, and yeah, he's also he's versatile as both voice actor and a on-screen actor. Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to like seeing more of his work. I'm trying to think about there was another actor recently who I was happy who was getting like more work. I can't remember who the fuck it was though. But there's a few actors out there where like they have like a breakout role, and for me, Chadwick Boseman was one of them. Bringing it back around, where after he, for me, when I saw him as Black Panther, I never knew about him before at all, and then he started getting like more and more roles, and then then he passed. So it's just fucking sad. Trying to
Yeah.
think about. Are you still reading comic books at all?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am, and I'm more focused on the ones that have well, more adult theme, and I've, and after I met you and your guys uh, at the 2015 San Francisco Comic Con,
God damn, it was a long
so,
time ago.
yeah, I I began to look into more comics that had all themes because before the only two grown up graphic novels I was reading were Spawn and The Walking Dead.
Okay, those are good ones. Yeah,
Yeah, it's I've been looking at Saga,
Saga's so good.
yeah, East of West, and
Yeah,
I The Boys.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I just started reading Paper Girls after watching the series, which was got screwed because of trolls who hated the fact that there were like multiple number of teenage females who didn't were not gonna take crap from anyone.
Yeah, I think that I feel bad for Brian K. Vaughan, who did, he's the writer for Paper Girls, and he's also the writer for Why the Last Man. And I think that, I think America, because America, consumes the most amount of media, I think, probably worldwide, but they just like, most Americans are just not ready for a really strong female led cast. And even
uh,
with, go ahead.
so it seemed like majority, at least majority, or probably most Americans is for a strong female led cast. I mean, that was more proof of that in the 2016 election, where the last two candidates had a female politician that had a stack of qualifications and made a career out of public service versus a celebrity who's incredibly stupid.
Yeah, honestly, that one election, I couldn't vote for either of them. For I had my reasons for not voting for Hillary, but it was mainly because of, like the crime bill and other things. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a tough call.
yeah,
It was
it definitely
it
wasn't
was
sexism for me.
yeah, I mean, it was probably easiest probably my easiest decision of all the years I've been voting out for president. That was uh, maybe number two in the easiest to say. No, number one, definitely number one, because the first time was in 2004, but that was my easiest choice. But then it dropped to number two after seeing what I had to choose from in 2016. So yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
it
see
was a
it. Yeah,
it was a
unfortunately.
tough call, but uh, I had to remember. I could not remember what I was what we were up against, and I cannot afford to uh, you know be bitter or petty. Yeah, I couldn't afford to be petty about it. So, uh, well, I'd have the one with the qualifications and the one who has nothing. That doesn't have someone who has zero quality to bring to the table, and I not so excited about Haley, but yeah, it was I was going to be her, the well established one, or 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 the freaking idiot.
Yeah, and honestly, at the time, like I literally I didn't vote for either because I was just like no. But if I looking back on it now with like, obviously hindsight is 2020, I guess I would have had to, but also not because I mean, no matter how I would have voted, I'm in California, so no matter what I vote for, it's going to go for the blue candidate. It's going to go for the Democrats. So um, even yeah, so it really didn't matter. And actually, like the last time I voted for a president, I wrote in my vote. I didn't vote for either of them. I wrote mine in. Um, but yeah, I think going back though, if I lived somewhere where it actually mattered for my vote, then I definitely would have voted for. I would have sucked it up and voted for Hillary. Um, because yeah, Trump was like he was terrible. Like, and people like try to like downplay like how terrible he was, but it's like he was really bad. You know, really, really. And then I went back to like looking at like his actual history of like being a businessman, and it was like it was terrible, and his racism, like actual racism, because people are just like, well, tell me about his racism. Well, there was the five kids that he took a full page ad out in a magazine that said that they raped some woman that they actually didn't do, and he never apologized for it. And there were five black kids. Never apologize for stuff like that. And there's also like that's an overt thing, but there's like a lot of like little things that people, if you're not black, don't really understand, But um, yeah, he's a racist, and I don't have any problem saying that now.
Yeah, it's true though, and he's so racist that just calling him that word is let's putting it lightly because he's a stone cold white supremacist.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you because he uses coded language a lot, and I think that most people that don't understand the coded language, they don't. It just like it goes over their head, But it goes right into the hearts of the other white supremacists, So
Yeah, yeah, them and their supporters who say people of color who for some bad reason support white supremacists. Yeah.
yeah, he just announced his candidacy again. I don't know how the audacity of this dude running for president when he has like open litigation against him is hilarious to me. But I guess that's America. But people are still thinking about voting for him. Some people are just like staunch Trump supporters. I'm like, he didn't make your life any better when he was a president.
Definitely did not, but had seen like hundreds or maybe thousands who were allowed to break into the Capitol and look for people to murder. As I was convinced that his Trump's support did was kind of raised a bit, and not enough to get him elected. Well, not enough to get him legally elected in 2020, but I know the support is just it's not gonna go away anytime soon. And it's also the Republicans are at fault, right? Because they had a sad chance to keep him away, but they saw the growing support by him, growing support of him, and decided that okay, it's using to get our to get regain power in the White House, House of Reps, and Senate, right? Okay.
Well, I mean, they're definitely gonna. I mean, they're losing the Senate now. It is him announcing his candidacy while the. Sorry, if anybody listening to this is not like political, sorry, but the Walker Warnock race in Georgia, like he's pretty much destroying Herschel Walker, which is good because Herschel Walker is a terrible candidate.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
and when
he's just like
when I when I did say that there were people who support white nationalists, Herschel Walker qualifies for that category.
yes, he does. I mean, he advances white supremacy, and that's what he does at this point in time. And he's a guy that can barely string together an entire sentence.
And
And
he's
and I'm not saying that to be like an asshole, but like literally, like watch his speeches and watch him talk. He lies constantly, just like Trump did, and he has problems speaking. I have problems speaking when I'm drunk, but when I'm not drunk, I'm okay. He
yeah.
has obvious like CTE, which is he has head trauma, and the fact that that guy is in the same league as Warnock. Even though Warnock is not like he's not the best candidate ever, but I mean the guy can at least speak intelligently. You know what I mean? And he doesn't lie to you overtly, and it's just like the fact that this is even a close race is amazing to me. It's amazing how far people will go in America to uphold white supremacist values.
Well, but hey, but this is America we're talking about. It was built on white supremacist values.
Yeah, I'm not. I think in the past I would have disagreed with that, but I've seen it, over the past couple of years. Like I understand it now. Like that sentiment in America, it's not great for everybody. And I think that we can go a whole lot further to make it great for everybody, not just some people of a
Yeah,
certain skin tone. Yeah,
yeah, because it's written in the was Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson. The part in there where he wrote that reads all white men are created equal.
they just took out the yeah. But even like there's even in the our Constitution and even in the amendments, like slavery is legal. Like right when I tell people right now that slavery is legal in America, they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. It's literally written in the 13th Amendment. Like it's in the wording. If you commit certain crime, if you commit a crime, if you're a criminal, like slavery is on the menu for you. Like I got to pull up the actual wording, but it's literally in the amendment. But people think I'm lying about it because people they don't look shit up.
Oh, so he added this. Just I think I think their idea of research is looking what someone posted on social media or reading something that was written by a media personality.
Yeah. So I can read it now. The 13th Amendment, Section 1, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as punishment for a crime whereas of the party shall have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States or any place in their jurisdiction. So right there it's telling everybody, which is why you see like the huge disparity of people in jail, I'm sorry, in prison in America right now. Um, Slavery is illegal unless you commit a crime, and that's why our crime rates are so high, and that's why so many people are in prison because it's slavery. They're trying to put more people in jail, and it's mainly brown people. And I mean, people want to talk about America is one of the most just and free societies in the world, but it's like no, it's not. We have more people in jail than China does. I'm sorry, more people in prison or incarcerated, however you want to put it, than China does, especially like
and
by per capita. So
and don't invest in rehabilitation and just set up people to be put in prison and to be put back in there so that they use as slaves to use all this machinery and whatnot to create a clothing, license plates, and you know, and whatever.
yeah, even fight fires and not get paid as firefighters and can't get a job as a firefighter when you get out. It's just wrong. Anyway, that's depressing. Um, so are you caught up on Saga? I want to get back to that.
Okay, I read volume one. I read a little bit of volume two. I feel more inspired to finish of volume two of Saga before I move on to the next thing. But yeah, the first volume. Oh wow! I I never thought that. Yeah, I look at that and say, I wonder how come science fiction movies are not this don't look this beautiful, don't have
Yeah,
uh, this tone of seriousness, and that one female alien that was a bounty hunter didn't have arms. I'll never get that image out of my head where it showed her with all of her legs. And
Oh, the spider legs. Yeah.
yeah, oh, holy shit! I mean,
Yeah.
I turned the page and I words came out for oh, whoa, shit!
Yeah.
I said that out loud into uh, I made my eyes look wide. I can never see anything like that, man.
Yeah, I think what's funny to me is like so one of my old um coworkers. I technically we're still coworkers. But she, because I told her I was reading comics, and she was like, "Have you checked out Saga?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Check it out." And I was like, so I checked it out. I was like, "Oh, this is fucking really cool." Um, yeah, I think it was like the second or third page of like the first comic book, and it was just like some lady cursing and like giving birth, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" Yeah. But it's like it's a really amazing story. I think the combination of Fiona Staples, the artist, and Brian K. Vaughan, the writer, was they're like peanut butter and jelly, you know. And I'm envious of you, man, because you didn't get the long layoff that I got because I was caught up with the comic, and then they went on hiatus for like I'm pretty sure like 4 years, maybe longer than that, and they just came back. I think like within a year from now, but I haven't had their comic in like a couple of months, so I'm like, are they on hiatus again? Because I haven't gotten one because and it's funny too because I'm still getting my comics delivered to me from the comic shop in San Leandro. They actually ship me my comics every couple of weeks.
Yes. Uh, so you while you receive shipments of comics, I yeah, I just do the old fashioned thing. I look for a quality comic book store uh, and buy what they have. I, and I do. I want to thank you again for telling me what about the comic book stores that you go to because I found used to have two. There was Black Cat Comics in Milpitas,
Mm.
but that didn't survive the COVID-19 and induced economic problem, and it closed for good. So the one I got to now is in San Jose.
Elusive.
Yeah, Elusive Comics. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were in Santa Clara, and they relocated. At first, I thought it went under too, but uh, yeah, I heard saw something that I think you or one of the other guys posted in the chat is had a list of places, and one of them was Elusive. So I searched it and found out they didn't shut down. They just went from Santa Clara to San Jose and a bigger store.
Yeah, good. I think it was Old Ninja. That was his former comic book shop because he used to live in the area and now he lives in Fremont. So yeah. And yeah, Saga is the last book was on July 6th, 2022, which I don't have, and now I'm kind of angry about it. I need to go and find it online. But the next one is in January 25th, 2023. So it's like, what the fuck? So it's like they take some hiatuses sometimes. And I'm pretty sure there was like a 4 year hiatus on like one of their runs. And it was like, it was sad.
um, so what they have coming next year would be what was it? It just an issue, or is it a volume like a book of a book filled with a few issues?
It's just an issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it literally was. It was a 4 year hiatus because it was like Saga 54 was in on July 25th, 2018, and issue 55 was January 26th, 2022. So pretty close to 4 years.
Okay.
And I was like caught up in July of 2018.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got a lot of catch up to on my adult themed comics. I just and now when I collected them, it's I don't use the the issue numbers anymore. I just wait until they're trade
Trades.
paperback and
Yeah.
we have a few or more issues all in one, and of course that would save some storage space for me. If I do want to read an issue, I go onto the internet like DC Infinite and Marvel
Nice.
Unlimited, read the digital versions.
That's the adult way to go. I'm still childlike. If you're watching the podcast, you can look at the background behind me. You'll see like my comic book boxes. There's like I think 30 something boxes behind me of comics that are like single issues, and I have a bunch. I have trades too. They're in long boxes, but I need to put them in a like a bookshelf.
So it's talking about the ones that are behind you on your left.
Yeah, yeah. Those are all boxes. Those are all short boxes, and there's some long boxes back there too. Um, and then there's like a bunch just like sitting around me, like too many that I need to read. So, but Kratos and Atreus has been taking up my time recently. So, and try not to be depressed about my foot. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm you say you're a bit childlike with comics, so if the get the issues out for me, guess what makes me a bit child like as a geek guys, I collect some materials that are accurate to what I see on screen, like a
Star Wars.
well, obviously, because the lightsaber and that leather jacket.
Yeah.
Me also, uh, it, DC, Marvel, and some things that are not relevant to fantasy, like vintage muscle cars or any cars that me and most people on this planet will currently can't afford and will probably will never afford. But so I get the models, the die cast models that are I think 1 by 24 and well 1 by 18. And I just got the two I got for my birthday this year are the 1970 Dodge Challenger,
Okay.
painted white, and I saw that one. I thought about what's that movie? Vanishing Point, the remake with Viggo Mortensen and Keith David.
I didn't watch that one, but maybe I'll check it
Yeah,
out now. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's still on YouTube for free. Yeah, I think it's a remake of the one from the 70s. I think it's released in sometime in the 1990s. Think about that movie, and uh, one by Quentin Tarantino, Grindhouse, a Death Proof.
Yeah, Death Proof. Oh, that's such a great underrated movie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Think about Tracy Thoms doing her thing as both the pursuee and the pursuer. I mean, that was hardcore.
I mean, you know why I love it? It's because Rosario Dawson. She's in
Oh
it.
yeah. Well, that's most reason because Rosario Dawson. Oh man, she man, still is one of my celebrity crushes, man.
Yeah.
I love me some Rosario.
And also, what was the guy's? God damn it, the main guy, Kurt Russell. That's what his name is. Kurt Russell. His acting in that movie was fantastic. He's plays such a great role in that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was my first time seeing Kurt Russell as the villain, and I kind of felt the same. Watching that, I felt the same way I did when I watched Tom Cruise in Collateral. That okay, he is a versatile actor. He doesn't just nail it as the good guy. He can also bring his A game as the villain.
Yeah, yeah. God damn, I forgot about that. I forgot about Grindhouse. That was like because it was Death Proof and was the zombie one. Was it
Yeah,
zombies?
Planet Terror. Yeah, I
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I didn't watch that yet. I think I got it saved on Hulu.
yeah. It's not as I mean it's cool because like there's a woman in it that has like an AR-15 Or I'm sorry, it would be M16 for her leg with like a 203 attachment, which is hilarious. But Death Proof is just like the acting in it is so much. It's so much better and it's so much more interesting. You know.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll check it out, man.
Yeah, I think it's is it Rose McGowan? No, it's not Rose McGowan. It's somebody in it who has like an M16 as a leg. Actually, it might be Rose McGowan. Yeah, maybe. Um, yeah, damn, you bringing up like movies that I watched a long time ago, but not too long ago because those in the 2000s. What else did I want to say? I wanted to ask you something. Now I forgot what it was. So did you catch up on East of West? Did you finish that one?
Oh, East and West Side. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm trying to catch up on.
That one's
I haven't.
done. So there's definitely an ending to that one.
I think. Well, so they're not printing that anymore. So did they get a grand finale or was it canceled?
No, it's a good finale. They finished it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I got to start on the first font.
Yeah, keep going because like the I forget the artist's name, but I want to get him. I want to talk to him on the podcast because I love his artist style, but he doesn't have like a whole lot of like books out right now. He had one that just came out recently that was about like it was almost like climate change, but I forget the name of the books out. They were pretty good though. What was the guy's name? Yeah, I can't figure out. I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, man, he's like one of my favorite artists. Like Nick Dragotta, that's what it is. Nick Dragotta. That's the guy who does the artist style, and he has like this really cool like Western style of like drawing, and he's fantastic. But I don't see him in like a lot of things that I normally read. But he used to do like things like actually I guess he's doing like Fantastic Four now. Oh shit, my guest has dropped. So it's just me. I don't know what happened. But I'm also getting tired, and it's okay because I still need to edit this podcast and get it out. We have an hour of content, so I guess maybe I'll do this every now and again where I'll just like talk to somebody that normally listens to the podcast, and we'll just like kind of just bullshit, and we'll bullshit like this, and I'll release it. So I had a lot of fun talking to Warrior Fella. Thank you very much. He's one of the guys that we've seen more than a few times at local conventions, and he's always been like really cool. Um, and I really miss going to conventions, and hopefully someday, hopefully next year, we'll start going to cons again. But I know like this year when because both me and Prodigy, we're in the same area now. We're in San Diego County, and we wanted to go to Comic Con, SDCC, but it was like there was a huge spike for the Rona when it was down here, and I couldn't take the risk. He couldn't take the risk, and we have different risks from probably. I have more of a risk than most people with my family, so don't judge me about the coronavirus. But hopefully next year things will be better. We're me and my partner we're getting out more. So there we go. He's back. Hey, now you got video.
Hey. Oh, hold on up.
It's okay. They can't see you anyway. It's you got a samurai sword.
Not just any samurai sword. It's Michonne's.
Holy shit!
From
God,
Walking Dead.
can I switch this around? I don't know if I can switch my thing over to you. Hold on, give me a second. I got to figure this out. How to like switch it over. If I can, I'll do it in a second. If I can, I'll let you know. So I have to like release the camera from here. And one sec. Yeah, I can't. God damn it. Yeah, the way my setup is like unless I set up the video to be on me like beforehand, then they can. Oh, actually, here I can put you on. Here, you're on now, but now they can't see me, which is fine. Show the sword again.
Okay. Yeah, got this when it first came out. Yeah, yeah, like Michonne and like the actress Denai Guerrero, love me some Denai. And yeah, and whether it's Walking Dead or the Marvel Universe, she is a major ass kicker.
Yeah, that is so cool, and she was great in Wakanda Forever. So yeah. So is that like is it sharp?
uh, let's see,
Oh, that's the tip. It's
maybe
like the
just a tad touching the tip, and yeah, it's a little sharp. Yeah, so yeah, it's yeah, kind of authentic copy of the props she used on the show, and it even came with a certificate of authentication. So, and yeah, and I yeah, when it first came out, it was just yeah 200, and yeah, it's I didn't think that was steep, so I got it before it could sell out and and come back later and have a very steep price. So yeah, I got a good deal on this one, and got this after
oh
I got this thing after watching that particular scene in Avengers Endgame.
very cool.
Yeah,
Cap shield.
yeah.
Is that made out of metal?
Yeah, it's the metal one, 75th anniversary, and it's a property
Wow.
of Disney, and I think that's why even in the back it's screen accurate. Some other one, I think it's some other prop maker. They call it comic book sandwiches. They make metal copies of some of props, and they even got all the shields from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but all of them have some kind of thing put on around this part of it. So it's I think it's labeled a sword, some government organization from the MCU.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really distinguishing them from Disney. So, but this one is officially a Disney license. Yeah.
That's really cool. And
Yeah.
like it's funny because like people will talk about like you know like where you want to spend your money, but it's like if that makes you happy, man, just do it. Like I've wasted so much money. Like like you pointed out, you know, you see all my comic books in the background, like all the boxes that I have. That's like thousands of dollars of comics, and it's just for me to just like be happier in life. Like I just it brings me joy, and you know if getting like these things for you brings you joy, then just like do it, man. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just bringing joy having it in my possession, but knowing that I can call it a fruit of my labor because I spent some of my hard-earned money to have this thing, and yeah, I feel like a comic book or MCU or Marvel fan that's a mature one because I got this well without breaking my bank. I did not go broke from getting this prop. I just waited till the price was decent enough and uh, and bought it responsibly.
Oh, that's great, man. It's like it this is really a great time to be like alive as far as like being a person that a geek or a nerd. You know, it's just like our culture has like come up because you. I think I'm pretty sure we're around the same age, but you know, when I was growing up through like the 80s to the 90s and 2000s, like in the 80s, like geek culture was definitely not appreciated at all.
No, so
Um, the 90s not really either. 2000s started like getting more popular, and now today it's like a thing, but it's like you know I, I'm on like a crossroads where it's like it kind of it sucks because like there was so much pain in the past of like being like a nerdy kid. Like today, it's like so much more accepted, but also at the same time, it's like I get to finally enjoy all these nerdy like movies and TV shows and like all this stuff. Like it's so cool to like be able to see it. It's like it's a great time to be alive, to be a nerd, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and I feel like the nerd geek culture still has a long way to go because I mean, as a black nerds, black geeks, so we
Yeah.
still got to go through obstacles, still got barriers to break, but we're taking some steps forward. So I'm glad to be a part of that battle.
Yeah, for sure. Because like, I don't know how. Do you cosplay? Like, I know you know you're a Finn. Like when I saw you and you play, I seen you cosplay a couple other times too. But do you cosplay normally when you go to cons?
Uh, Normally, no, I wouldn't say so. I've other than the Star Wars fan, I've cosplayed as Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock.
Okay.
I have that long coat and business casual clothes that look similar to what he wore on that set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
That
yeah. Most of the time it's well, wearing jackets or shirts from based on things that I watch and read.
that's cool though. Because I mean, obviously, like, because when I go, I'm usually like, press. So I don't get a chance. But I think one of these years I'm gonna like dress up. And like even as press, I'm just gonna like dress up and like just do the thing. So just have fun. But because I haven't been to a con in fuck 2.5 years, 3 years almost. It's like it's sad. We used to go to these things all the time, and now we can't. But hopefully next year we'll be able to like do it again. I need to start going again because for us it was like fun and like especially doing panels. Our panels, like I used to have so much fun doing panels and seeing you there. You know,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Your panels are well, always so fun. Not just doing Q&A, but also getting the audience involved with the well, I guess those made those the games kind of Jeopardy like games that are relevant to anime and
yeah.
geek fandom.
Yeah, and like I think we all really miss that because like interacting with people that watch the show, and even people that don't even watch the show, it's just like just being able to talk to them and like I I think we haven't really had like a bad panel like at all. Like they've all been like so much fun. I just want to get back to doing the like meeting everybody and like that. Like I said, like the first time we met you. Did you listen to the podcast like before you went to the panel or not?
No, I did not know about the panel until after attending. I mean, I didn't know about your podcast until attending a panel, and I was looking on the list of all the panels, and I mentioned yours. I looked at the description and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, this
Right up
sounds
your
like
alley.
something that right up my alley. That's something relatable." And so I went there, and after that, I started watching. Sorry, watching your podcast came more and more impressed, and what I really loved probably the most about your podcast is that no one's calling anyone the N word. It's I
Yeah.
yeah I've been to I looked at YouTube YouTubers and even at panels and uh, I started to feel comfortable when I heard N word this N word that.
Well, I think that's interesting because like I know that like I have an issue with the word. And I'm pretty sure I know that other members on the podcast do too. But it's just like it was like one of those things where it's just like I don't. It's disrespectful to me, and like as a kid though, I used to say the word like all the time. Like it was kind of like it was it was just in my vocabulary. But then as I grew up, like I understood like how disrespectful it was to like first of all myself, but then like other people. And I remember one time when I was in high school, there was like I called an older guy, what's up, my N word, and then like the guy he looked at me, and it was like with pity in his eyes, and he
Of
was just like,
course.
yeah, he was like, you don't even know what you're saying. And at the time, I was like, I was young, I was like, you know what you're saying. I'm pretty sure I'll probably call him the N word again. And it wasn't until like years later, until I realized like, you know what, the pity in his eyes Like I get it now. You know, it's like that. I've degraded both him and me at the same time, and I don't even realize like what I did. Um, and I'm not like I don't want to crap on people that do use the word. Um, but for me personally, like I don't. I think that it shouldn't really be used. But it's weird because it's like it's so pervasive. Like it's in our music. It you know it's in the our main society, and I don't think that I think that people took away the real meaning of the word, but it still makes us angry. So when people say like, you know, don't react to it or, they don't really understand like the actual what it means to
Yeah,
like be degraded
exactly.
on that level. Yeah. The
I
disrespect,
know.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, it's just, it's that thing about you don't uh, you don't learn from the past. You are doomed to repeat it, and that pretty much explains it. That no one knows about the history of that infamous word, and this all doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, even like over the past, 2.5 years, it's even more embarrassing. Like the whole journey I went on to like actually reading books on like civil rights and like racism, like all these things. Like my eyes have been like super open. It's like just now seeing like the whole history of like the amount of weight that belongs to that word and other things that I'm realizing now, especially now that I have like my my youngest daughter. She's darker than I am, and she's like knowing that she's gonna have to at some point in her life somebody's gonna say that word to her, and it's like how is she gonna take that, And it's like I feel like I have to like fill her full of like extra love in her life because I know someday somebody's gonna try to like tear that away from her with a word,
Yeah.
you know, and that's I think every black parent goes through this shit, So yeah, sorry, got kind of deep.
Yeah, that's yeah, that got deep and depressing, but it need to be said.
Yeah,
Got yes, keep it balanced here, both real life and fantasy.
yeah, yeah. Well, all right, I think you have successfully saved the podcast for the night.
Okay, hey, I'm glad to help. And oh no, the one reason I got this thing is because made in uh, made in Wakanda, man, a technology advanced black country.
Yeah. Have you been to Africa before?
No, never had the opportunity, but I hope to someday in the future when it's safe enough to travel. Definitely not now
Gotcha.
that
With COVID, yeah.
of
Uh,
COVID. Yeah.
well, once it is safe enough for you to travel, definitely go back to the motherland. Um, I've been a few times. I want to go again because I've been through the bad parts and some of the good parts, and I definitely want to go. I want to go back to Ethiopia to spend more time in there, and I want to go to probably Ghana someday. And I had no idea that there's like whole repatriation programs um, to certain countries in Africa where you can just go back, and they have plots of land for you that you can get on the either not for free but at least discounted. And I had no idea that it even existed. So, but go visit.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah.
yeah. Go. I mean, I can say for sure if you visit Ethiopia, if you go to Addis Ababa, you will not be disappointed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. At yeah. Well, I had to check out Ethiopia because I used to go to an Ethiopian restaurant in Oakland on MacArthur.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and even there's the mother I think my mother met this one guy who I think he told her he was Ethiopian and asked her if she was Ethiopian. So I guess that was the clues to where uh, some of our relatives are from. I might be Ethiopian.
Well, you can. There's when I went to Ethiopia. So me and Blue, we've been friends since high school, and I didn't know like the Ethiopian like look until I went to like Ethiopia, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see now how Blue has like Ethiopian like features, and actually you kind of do too. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you like the genealogy on yourself that you came from that region. But women there are beautiful. So like I was very surprised because like in America when you talk about Ethiopia, especially like in my day, they talk about how like they were all hungry and like skinny and like blah blah blah. But I went there and I was like, there was like a bunch of like Beyonces running around. I was like, this what the fuck is going on? Like they totally like lied about like this country and also the continent in general, um, of like being poor and like impoverished and just like I don't know. You got to go and and see for yourself. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised once you go to, and not to say that like every place in Africa is like the greatest, because like not every place in America is great. But I
Right.
can say that in Addis Ababa you will have a good time. In Ethiopia,
And you said it was Addis Ababa, huh?
yeah,
Okay, got it.
it's one of their major cities. Yeah. Anyway, we do have to wrap this up because I have to like use the bathroom. It takes time because I'm still on crutches, and I got to edit the podcast. So
Okay. All right. Hey, it was a fun being on your podcast, man. I look forward to uh, guest appearing again, and thank you so much for the invitation.
yeah, thanks for joining. Like you literally said it, because I'd have had like talk with just me and without doing anything. So yeah, you definitely saved the podcast. Thank you very much, Warrior Fella. And it was good for everybody else to hear you and see you. So thanks, man. Next time I'm up there, we'll have to hang out.
Yeah, I really hope so, man. Because I tried to hang out with you and the guys a few years back, but it was a set up place that served in Fremont that served cigars and alcohol.
Oh, the cigar lounge. You don't drink, right? Or smoke.
Well, smoke. I know I'm willing to try a cigar, but maybe just once or twice. But I've only been a smoker for a week, and I quit that, and because I could tell it was not making me feel any better. It made me feel extra moody.
Well, cigars are not like cigarettes, so I make you feel maybe a little better about that. But 'cause I used to smoke cigarettes for well a few years, and I quit when my daughter was born. But it's not like cigarettes, so yeah.
Yeah, I do drink, but I know better than to drink and drive because the rule is do not drink and drive. But a lot of people think it's don't drive drunk, but it's don't drink and drive. So if I know I'm gonna have booze, I use public transportation.
That's a good call. So like, hopefully next time I'm out there, we can hit up Clay the bartender because he makes the best drinks. We'll take Bart up there, Uber Black, and then take Bart back and Uber wherever you want to go. So yeah, keep it safe.
Yeah. Be safe, not sorry.
Exactly. All right, man. Have a good night. All right.
Yeah, right. Good night, Cronus.
Later, man.
All right, see you, Space Cowboy.
There you go. That's the thing. That's what you always say. Nobody knows. This is what he always says at the end, like in the chat at the end of the podcast.
Cowboy Bebop, baby.
Exactly. Shinshiro Watanabe